You know, when we talk about meditation, it's easy to think of it as just one skill. You either get good at it or you don't. But what if I told you that ancient Buddhist texts, I'm talking over 2,000 years old, give us this incredibly detailed, systematic way to look at it? It's basically a blueprint for mastery. And honestly, it's just as relevant now as it was back then.
So what's the difference, really? What separates a pretty good meditator from a great one? Is it just about putting in more hours on the cushion? Or is there something deeper going on? Well, it turns out these ancient texts, specifically a collection called the Saṃyuttanikāya, have a surprisingly clear, structured answer for us. Okay, first things first, let's get a key term down. The word in the Pali language for a meditator is jayi. That's the person we're focused on here, the one doing the practice. And all the wisdom we're about to dive into is really about sorting out the different kinds of jayi based on what they're good at. All right, so here's our game plan. We're going to start by unpacking this core idea of the 4 meditators. Then we'll look at a really important comparison, concentration versus attainment, to kind of unlock the whole system. After that, we'll lay out the entire skill set, check out this beautiful ancient metaphor, and then, tie it all together to see the whole path to mastery.
All right, let's jump right in and unlock this ancient blueprint. See, the Pali texts aren't just giving us some vague ideas about progress. Nope. They use this really consistent, repeating pattern to classify meditators with, honestly, incredible precision.
And the way it works is, well, it's beautifully simple. The whole system is just built on comparing 2 skills at a time. It's like, are you good at skill A, but not skill B? Or maybe you're good at B, but not A? Or maybe neither. Or are you skilled in both? Once you get that simple pattern, the whole framework just opens right.
So to really see how this blueprint works, we're going to start with the very first comparison the text makes. It's a contrast between 2 of the most fundamental skills in all of meditation. Okay, so these 2 skills are samadhi and samādhi. So samadhi, that's your concentration, right? The skill of getting your mind totally focused on one thing. And then samādhi is the skill of attainment, your ability to actually enter and hang out in specific meditative states. And here's the key. You could totally be good at one and not the other. That's the whole point.
This grid really lays it all out for us. So look, a type 1 meditator, they've got that deep concentration down, but they really struggle to actually get into those specific states. Type 2 is the exact opposite. They can pop into those states, no problem, but they just don't have the stable focus to stay there. Type 3, well, they're still working on both, but type 4, now that is the goal. That's the supreme meditator, the one who's skilled in both concentration and attainment. And the text, it leaves 0 doubt about which one is best. It says, the one skilled in both is the chief, the best, the foremost, the highest, and the most excellent of these 4 meditators. You can't get much clearer than that, right? It's a flat-out declaration that having that integrated skill set is the ultimate goal. Okay, so that 4-part pattern we just looked at, it's not a one-time thing. Not at all. The texts use this same grid, this same logic, over and over again. They just swap in different pairs of skills to build out a complete picture of what a master meditator's toolkit really looks like. Take, for example, a skill called thiti, which basically means stability. It's one thing to get into a meditative state, right? But can you actually stay there? For how long? That stability is its own distinct skill, and you could be a rock star at it, but still struggle with the skill that goes along with it.
And yeah, the flip side of stability is vutana, or emergence. This is all about the skill of coming out of a deep state with control and with clarity. You're not just, crashing out of it. It's about making a graceful exit, not an abrupt one. And you can totally see how someone might be great at staying in, but kind of clumsy at getting out. Then you've got kalita. This is a cool one. It's kind of like mental readiness or skillfulness. The best way to think about it is like a musician who meticulously tunes their instrument before they play. Is your mind tuned? Is it pliable and actually ready for the practice? That fundamental state of being prepared is a skill you can absolutely cultivate. And this ancient wisdom doesn't stop there. It even looks at your skill with the adamana, which is just the object of your meditation. Your anchor. It could be your breath, a feeling in your body, something you're visualizing. Whatever it is, how skillful are you at connecting with it and just keeping your attention there? In rounding out the technical skills, there's gokara. This refers to the, let's call it the domain or the range of your practice. It's about knowing exactly where to put your attention and understanding its boundaries. I love the analogy of a photographer framing the perfect shot. It's not just about focus, it's also about scope, knowing what's in the frame and what's out.
But check this out. It's not all just about technical skill. The texts actually apply that same four-part logic to your attitude. Mind-blowing, right? So true mastery also requires things like abhinihara, which is resolve, and then these qualities of acting conscientiously, acting with perseverance, and acting in a way that's beneficial. It's such a powerful reminder that it's not just what you do, it's how you do it.
So this begs the question, right? Why is the meditator who's skilled in both areas always considered the top dog? Well, the texts have this absolutely beautiful and timeless analogy to explain it. It perfectly illustrates this whole process of refinement. Believe it or not, they paint this picture using dairy products. Seriously. So you start with plain old cow's milk, gavakiram. From that, you get a more refined product, curds or duddy. You churn those, and what do you get? Navanitam, fresh butter. Then you heat that butter, purify it, and you get sappi or ghee. But it doesn't stop there. The absolute best, finest part that rises to the very top of the ghee is called the sappi mando, literally the cream of the ghee. See how each step is a refinement of the one before? And that is the whole key. The meditator who has mastered and integrated both skills is just like that cream of the ghee. They represent the most refined, the most valuable, the most potent outcome of the practice. It's the very essence of mastery.
Okay, let's pull all of this together. So what's the big takeaway from this ancient blueprint? What does the actual path to mastery look like, according to these incredible texts? So here it is, the Master Meditator's Toolkit, straight from this ancient blueprint. The real path to mastery isn't about being a super specialist in just one of these things. Nope, it's about integrating all of them. It's about weaving together your concentration with your ability to attain states, your stability with your skill in emerging from them, and blending all that technical skill with a really wise and beneficial attitude. That is what defines the chief, best, and most excellent meditator.
And that really just leaves us with a question for your own practice, doesn't it? When you look at this entire toolkit, where's your growing edge? What's the next step for you? Is it about deepening your stability? Or maybe it's about bringing a more conscientious attitude to your time on the cushion? Remember, the path to becoming that cream of the ghee is all about balance. So, which of these skills are you going to work on next?